Chipped ham and football. That's what Pittsburgh does. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Brian Batko here with you, as always, from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, one of our Steelers beat writers. And we always like to try to get good guests for this show. And this one might be our best yet. He needs no introduction. Troy Polamalu will be joining us today to bring to light a community event that he's promoting here in the next couple months. It's coming up in May in Pittsburgh. That should be on your radar. He'll tell you about the Resilience Bowl, which is going to be an event from the Neighborhood Resilience Project. So it's Troy. He's always doing some good in the community, but we'll also get into some current state of the Steelers, some fun memories with him on this show, which is of course always brought to you by Pella. No better place to get new windows and doors installed in your home than Pella, who can help you save on your energy costs year round. Schedule a free in-home consultation with your local Pella windows and doors to find the right product for your home and budget. Give them a call at 866-593-1560 to discuss your project further. That's 866-593-1560 to get started planning your new windows and doors installation with Pella Windows and Doors of Pittsburgh. So yeah, without further ado, let's get it right into it. A fun chat with Troy Polamalu. Hope you enjoy. So now we are with Troy Polamalu, former Steelers safety, Hall of Famer, all around great in this neck of the woods. Thanks for doing this, Troy. You're in our digital studio here, not in person, but set the stage for us. Tell us about what brings you in today. Obviously, no surprise. It's something that includes your wife, Theodora, and you doing good in the world. So let us hear about your partnership with the Neighborhood Resilience Project and the Resilience Bowl coming up May 21st, right here in Pittsburgh at Acrisure Stadium.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, and I really and sincerely appreciate it. And obviously, so does Theodora. We've been a part of the Neighborhood Resiliency Project for quite a while now, and it's quite an amazing organization. It's there in the Hill District. It's the institute there in the Hill District. I think everybody in Pittsburgh and even around the country and around the world know the brilliant minds that have come out of that community, as well as, unfortunately, a lot of trauma has come out of it. But I think what we actually have on May 21st is a celebration of what the community actually has done and what they've organized. They've organized the country's very first community-led health clinic, a free health clinic. So obviously having something like the Neighborhood Resiliency Institute during a time like COVID was incredible. They have backpack programs, so it's really an incredible organization that's actually led by the community themselves. And I think this is just such a beautiful way to heal trauma. And there's a lot of organizations that have ideas about how to heal trauma. I think the beautiful thing about what this program is about is the community members themselves decide what they want and what they need, and then they use collaboration of all the incredible organizations like UPMC or Pitt or Carnegie Mellon or Giant Eagle and all these different the police department to really help collaborate in how they heal the community internally. And as you know, the Hill District is also very different from North Hills or Wilkinsburg or South Hills and all these different communities. And I think what's cool about the celebration is that it's a model that can be emulated in all these different communities. It's been successful in Hawaii, which is a very different community. It's been successful in Columbus, Ohio as well. So for us especially, it's an organization that was started in the Hill District by the community in the Hill District. And what we have is a 7-on-7 tournament, a celebrity style tournament, for really a celebration of what the Hill District has done. And we look forward to the celebration. We look forward to sharing what the Neighborhood Resilience Institute has done for its community.
So you're going to be back in town here for it in May, and yeah, you mentioned it there. Sort of
started
the
training
main,
already.
Yeah, yeah. Are you going to be playing defensive back, or are you going to be showing what you can do at quarterback, Troy? This is your chance to shine.
Listen, I've always wanted to be a running back. Everybody knows that, so I'll be going both ways for sure.
Who can you tell us? Do you have any commitments yet? Have you been recruiting for the Resilience Bowl and this flag football event? With obviously you mentioned it, going to be a lot of celebrities helping out, and clearly when you come back to Pittsburgh, I'm sure a lot of people are willing and able to lend their time for an event like this.
Yeah, thank you.
Are there any commitments that you've got already
Oh yeah, well, the
in the
most
pool of
important one is
players?
my partner in crime, Ryan.
Okay, you
So
got
of
Ryan
course we
Clark
have,
coming down.
we have some Hall of Fame football players, that are coming back, and just a lot of some support from our sports community, and local celebrities and whatnot. So it's just really more about the celebration of what the Neighborhood Resilience Project has done, and all the people that really want to come out. It's an opportunity to play on Acrisure Stadium, I think, which has is really hollowed ground in the NFL and in football. So it's a really great opportunity for everybody to come together.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a cool event that way. And I know, naturally you're very busy with family and just life out in California. But have you been starting to make more trips back this way lately? I know you said in 21 when you were here at the Seattle game, I think it was for the Hall of Fame night, that it had been a few years since you were back in town.
We actually caught a couple games this last year, so it was really nice to go back to Pittsburgh, live there longer. I've lived anywhere, so it's definitely still home to me, and to where my children have been born. So um, yeah, I really enjoy going back now. It's a very different perspective, but it's also difficult. Our children are we're in the thick of it with our younger son Ephraim in middle school, and our older son Paisios just freshman. So we're really enjoying this time with our kids right now.
Are they involved in football or any other sports at this point out there on the West Coast?
We do our best to keep them busy. There's a lot of things out here that can keep people busy, which we're grateful for. And like any other parent out there, we try to balance the different. Trying to keep them off electronics, trying to keep them on sport, trying to keep them
Sure.
active, and all these sort of things. So, we've got our little ways of trying to do that, and we definitely keep them busy playing sports.
When you're out at a practice or anything, do you find the other parents ever looking at you and sort of whispering to each other about maybe who Ephraim's dad is or anything like that over there on the side?
I to be honest, I'm like I feel like the world's greatest fan. I try my best to just sit there and get all my snacks, my nice little cushion seat, and just really try to enjoy the game as much as I can.
Really, you aren't
Um,
barking instructions? That's hard to believe, knowing how
oh no, no, I
crazy and
listen,
abrasive you are, Troy.
I've exhibited the worst of every sports parent, and so I've suffered temptation at every level for sure. And the beautiful thing is, part of that of the Pittsburgh community knows that about me.
That's
So I've
great.
definitely been on the soccer sidelines,
Yeah.
roughing with some parents, but anyway, yeah, I'm very competitive. My children are also as well, but I enjoy watching. I enjoy just I enjoy, even when living in Pittsburgh, we'd go to all the football games. There's the NA playing Pine Richland, whether basketball games, any of these games. We really love to go to watch youth sports.
Yeah, for sure. So are you going to be going all out in the Resilience Bowl, flag football wise? Are you going to see any Troy Polamalu leaps over the line or dives for flags or what?
Listen, after watching that Cam Newton video, man, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe lay
I
low
might
if
be getting
anything.
tried out there. So that's what I'm saying. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I better start training.
Yeah, yeah. You never know who's lurking at the 7-on-7 events these days. But um, well, one, while we're on the topic of giving to the community and doing that, whether current or former, obviously one active one who I know was really happy you've come back to some games recently and misses having you around is Cam Heyward. He just took home the Walter Payton Man of the Year award from the NFL for all of his good work off the field. What can you say about Cam as a guy who your generation of Steelers kind of helped raise up as a rookie for the 4 years you spent with him in the black and gold, and obviously didn't just raise him as a player who's a grizzled vet now, but also somebody who found value and kind of understood what it means to give back away from football.
I had no other influence on Cam than any other predecessor to me. Cam is been a Steeler to the bone. He's created his own legacy within himself. I just think that sometimes leaders set a standard of what it's like. Jerome was kind of like that influence to me, or he was
Yeah.
that influence to me.
Another former Walter Payton winner here.
Yeah, so for Cam, sometimes some players just have that personality, and he's just a joy to be around. He's a great person, and he's a great football player. And it's great that he's been part of the Pittsburgh Steelers for so long, and God willing, we'll be able to retire there. And I think he's the only teammate that I have left that's
Yeah.
still playing. So I love Cam. I still talk with him all the time. So yeah,
That's awesome. He's the only teammate you have left, but you were also mentioning a little earlier about going to youth sporting events, North Allegheny specifically. Does it age you all that Joey Porter Jr. is probably the Steelers' best cornerback these days, and we go into the 2024 season and Porter is out there on the back of a black and gold jersey?
oh man, it's awesome. It's really awesome. It's funny because Joey was using my address for it to make sure he went to.
There's always ways to work the system,
yeah,
right?
it does come full circle. It's a small world, we got to make sure he stayed in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's awesome to see see that come full circle. I'm so happy for Joey, his entire family. I know everybody in the whole community as much as I am happy for him, and we're all here to support as an uncle to him, as an older brother in a way to, and, as a Steeler. So I'm so happy for his success.
For sure. And it's draft season these days in the NFL. You've worked or trained with a couple young safeties from USC in these last few draft classes, right? Obviously, your nephew Isaiah is with the Raiders, and I think the one Hufanga from the 49ers, who everybody always seems to say plays a lot like you with the hair flowing out of the helmet and patrolling on the back end there. Has that been kind of rewarding or fun for you to give back to the game in that way?
Yeah, it's absolutely, yeah, for sure. These it's really nice to share just knowledge and be able to help out other players, especially when they're really thirsty for it, and they really want to implement it in their in their lives. Talanoa and both Isaiah, both played at USC, and I had opportunity to train both of them, and yeah, they're obviously incredible athletes. So anybody that that trains any of those incredible athletes can't really take too much credit for themselves. They're very driven. They're disciplined. It's no secret why they're in the NFL.
That's cool. And as far as these current Steelers, Troy, I mean, to borrow from your fantastic Hall of Fame speech, TJ Watt, he could have played with you guys, right? I'm guessing from basically everything you've seen and witnessed from him from afar.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but first, I think it's important to say I'm not a stakeholder in this. Like
Right.
I'm just proud to be a member on this team. So yeah, I mean TJ's incredible. Nika's incredible. Cam, these guys are generational players. Um, so, and I know, forgive me if I'm missing anybody out there, but I
No,
know
it's funny.
there's a
It's
lot.
interesting to me. I know you said a couple years ago before you got inducted into the Hall of Fame that, with your kids and everything you're doing, you don't pay super close attention to it. You get in the group chats with Ryan and Ike, and they kind of keep you abreast of people. But just so you know, your name does, as somebody who's in the locker room as a beat writer, your name is often thrown out there by current players as when they're asked, hey, if there's a former Steeler you wish you could have shared the field with. I know Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, Minkah, all those guys still bring your name up right off the top. So you're very much on the tip of their tongue these days.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. But I would absolutely feel the same way about them. I don't know about Cam. I had my time with him, and I
It must
definitely
be
don't want to
so
relive that one.
it must be so fascinating to see the dynamic that he had when he was, the young buck, the first round pick with you guys, and now he's the 34-year-old. I think the way he said Tomlin puts it is he's now the guy with car seats in the back seat of his car, and he's trying to impart, the Steelers traditions onto the younger group. But I guess that's kind of what it's always been built on here, and that's sort of the standard that Cam upholds, and then it'll be on TJ and Minkah and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It does carry on, and I think what's really important is it carries on through the defense.
Yeah.
There's just a certain a mentality I think that the defense has, in particular, a Steeler player that plays defense.
And speaking of the defensive side of the ball right now, and the Steelers, you know, I guess I'll leave you with this, Troy. We've talked about all the change, kind of over the last few years with the Steelers. Ben retiring, Kevin Colbert retiring, Omar Khan stepping up as GM. Is it strange at all for you to watch? Is it kind of exciting to watch, from where your perspective now, all this to happen, or will the big one maybe just kind of be when Mike Tomlin, is no longer the head coach here? I guess it's just kind of the inevitable march of time, right? But is it strange to see from somebody who was here for so long and part of so much, all these natural but still jarring changes, I guess, when they happen?
I don't know if I see it too much as a jarring change. Um, or any sort of jarring change that really needs to happen. I almost want to say it's almost like a change of ownership in a sense. Like it seemed seamless from us as a player, or from us as a community. And I think in a lot of ways, like even internally now as a player, when I saw the transition from Cowher to Tomlin, um, the level of expectation and culture of our locker room never changed. So I don't, and that, as you were just kind of remarking to earlier about Cam, TJ, Mika kind of holding the line about what it takes to have a certain embody a certain ethos of what it really takes to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, and to hold the line of what it takes, is really founded in that locker room. So I think that that's what's really important, is that that's never lost. And I know you can have certain coaches that come in and really can shake up a locker room by bringing in new players, or taking away, whatever the case is.
Sure.
So I think that's one thing that I really liked about that transition from Coach Tomlin to Coward to Tomlin, and even from any position coach that I was coached by. It didn't matter if he came from a different one; it still had to reach whatever the Steelers standard was. And to me, that's why I really appreciate what Coach Tomlin says when he always says the standard is the standard, and everybody's got to really hold up to that. And it's important that you have stakeholders that are willing to hold the line, like TJ, who's a Hall of Fame caliber player, um, that has a great voice in that locker room.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Troy, I won't take up any more of your time. I know you don't do this kind of thing often, so I do appreciate you and your team reaching out to the Post Gazette to shine a light on this. And is there anything else you want to discuss about the Neighborhood Resiliency Project or the Resilience Bowl before I let you get back to it, man?
No, well, first of all, thank you. I really appreciate, anytime you want to do a long video interview, let me know.
All right.
As in not a podcast,
Sounds
right?
good, Troy.
No, but no, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I think what's
Yes,
really
not a
important
podcast.
is that, yeah, I think what's really important is that the event is it's a celebration of community. and what a resilient community, and what resilient minds, brilliant minds in a resilient community can come together and do, and why this ecosystem is important to be emulated in different micro communities around Pittsburgh as well. So, yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to, to speak about the things that my wife and I are really passionate about lately as well.
Sure thing. Well, we will do our best to get out there and cover it. So we'll see you in person at the Resilience Bowl, May 21st, Acrisure Stadium. Stay tuned to more information on that from the Post-Gazette. Thanks again to Troy Polamalu for joining us here on the Post-Gazette's YouTube.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.